All right, guys. 5 minutes later, I thought it was like 10:15 that I completely forgot. Whatever, doesn't matter. I was hanging out with Northern Girl. That was a good time. That was pretty fun. So I do appreciate you guys who were over there watching, supporting the channel over there as well. So traveling nurse prepper. If you are on here, thank you for the donation. I saw that at the last minute when I jumped off. So with that, guys, real quick, I am next month going to have a couple of round tables next month, and we're going to have, and this is going to be weird, but bear with me, we're going to have a ladies night, minus the dude, me, not being a chick, but it'll be with like Carbon Q, Vancity Prepper, Northern Girl, Angry Homesteader, and that'll be the round table with the ladies, and then with the guys, it'll be not all, but some of the guys I had on previously, recent and old. So with that, we're going to have some fun with it. Why the fuck did that happen? All right, sorry. So again, I do apologize for running late, but again, it was a good live stream. I like when you're having an interview with somebody and time just flies. You know that it's a good interview. So, or at the very least, you enjoy the person's company. So, that being said, guys, let's get on with it. So, what they have in common. Now, this is in regards to a couple of things. I was going to talk about. Well, I'm going to talk about President Putin and the president of Zelensky. Sorry. And we're going to talk about the things that they have in common, which I found very interesting. So a lot of people who are pro-Russia, right? There's a lot of people that are pro-Russian. And they sit here and they pretty much pat Russia on the back for listen, guys, again with the whole Russia thing, you know my stance with them. But I found something interesting. And I found that thank you, Zelensky, or rather Ukraine, is doing the same thing that Russia is doing as far as with the state media, one source media, only getting media through this source and no one else, right? So again, we have the Ukraine doing the same shit, and it's Zelensky silencing his opposition, right? So there's 11 political parties that are opposed to Zelensky, which is crazy that there's 11 political parties. And he's nationalizing his news source. Again, just like Russia has done. Russia's done this for a long time. Now, people who are pro-Russia, I tell you, go to fucking move to Russia then. And then tell me how much you're going to like their media. If you can't stand our media, which our media is constantly lying, you're definitely not going to sit there and believe the shit that Russia's sprouting. Now, with that being said, guys, Ukraine is acting like Russia 2.0, right? Volodymyr Zelensky invoked an emergency power under martial law to suppress several opposition political parties and implement a unified information policy. Sounds familiar? He has restricted media coverage on his country. That being said, guys, the oppositions are not allowed to talk out against Zelensky or throw in any other information about the war, whether that's for or against Ukraine. Now, obviously, if it's for the Ukraine, he doesn't want to hear that shit. But still, guys, these people have a pattern. Now, somebody just said Putin and Zelensky are part of the WEF. They are, right? Guys, once you start silencing your political rivals, like they do here, but they do it here, they do it on social media, though. So, granted, guys, here in the United States, the political adversaries or oppositions against the Democrats are being silenced on social media, but social media only, right? But still, we have other social media outlets that will allow the opposition to speak. In Russia and in Ukraine, you don't have that option. You don't have that option to say what you want to say. Yes, Southern Bell teacher. I don't care what the U.S. is behind. I really don't. I know a lot of people like the U.S. is doing this. So is Russia. Russia's not innocent. Neither is the Ukraine. Neither is South Africa. I can go on. The list goes on. I can care less what hidden plans the United States has. I really don't give a shit. Only because, and it's not. I'm not being aggressive or what you call it at you. I'm just saying I don't care. They all have fucking something, their hands in the mix. Ukraine, the US, New World Order. Russia and China, New World Order. We can go on for days and hours, months and years talking about this shit. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I know that the US has a shady background. They're slime buckets. They've done a lot of shit. They've killed world leaders in other parts of the world to implement their leadership there. We know this already. It doesn't matter, right? What we're talking about tonight is the Ukraine doing the same shit as the Russians are, and again, talking about how Russia is bad, as this, as that, and then you do the same shit they do. Interestingly enough, whatever. Yes, Abby Johnson. It's all over the world. Everybody all over the world got some slimy bucket shit. All governments are dirty. Thank you, Hudson Valley. Exactly, right? And then he says ours are worse than some. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, there are other governments out there that are worse than us, by far. What we do is worldwide, but we don't do shit like suffrage of people like other countries do, right? Again, that's why I mean, what the United States does is what they do. There's nothing we can do about it. We could talk about it till we're blue in the face, right? But Alpha Horse is saying, sorry. But like I said, I can care less. Russia did not want world in its backyard. They wanted a buffer zone. Ukraine joined the NATO. Again, Alpha Horse, that doesn't matter. The Ukraine is its own country, all right? And the buffer zone is bullshit. Again, if it's my country, I'm not going to let Russia tell me what I can do with my country and what I can't do. It's bullshit. And everybody keeps saying that they jump on Putin's side. Well, he didn't want them there. Who gives a fuck what he wants? Russia, if anybody has looked at it, it's a big-ass country. They got a lot of that country from taking it from people. So now to tell another country what they can and can't do is absolute bullshit. Again, the buffering zone is bullshit. And it's just a bullshit excuse. You know what else is a bullshit excuse, guys? The neo-Nazi party excuse. That's a bullshit excuse. You want to know why? Russia has their own neo-Nazi party as well. They're a Russian mercenary unit. They are known as the Task Force Rush, if I said that right. So, right, you guys can look it up yourself. They have their own neo-Nazi party. They've been around since the 1990s. Now, it's only one. I know that I think the Ukraine has 2 or 3. But still, guys, the neo-Nazi thing is bullshit. And yes, Hudson Valley, governments can't be trusted, period. Don't give a fuck who they are. You can't be trusted, period, guys. And everybody seems to think that, the Ukraine shouldn't have done this. Who the fuck are we to tell the Ukraine what to do? Olivia, thank you for the donation. All right, so, again, we sit here and we split hairs and why, No, it's not BS. Yes, Lady R, it's all BS. Because in the end, it doesn't matter. What matters is the safety of our countrymen here. I can care less what fucking happens in Russia, and I can care less what the excuse is. I mean, again, telling Ukraine what to do, that's like them telling us, oh, well, we don't want you to help out the Ukraine. And you think we're going to fucking, well, maybe with Biden we will. But other people won't do that, Marxist is a self-loathing JW. Marxist is a self-loathing. All right, I guess. Whatever. What's going on, Carbon Q? Thank you for joining us tonight. If I missed you in the other chat, I do apologize. So, again, guys. So, back to the 11 political parties. Guys, here's the 11 political parties named. And everybody's like, the 11 political parties were silenced in the Ukraine. But no one talked about their names. So I had to fucking dig like an asshole today. And I found it. These are the 11 political parties in the Ukraine that have now been temporarily banned from any activity involving media and talking about it. For Life, Sherry Party, Nashi, Opposition Bloc, Left Opposition, Union of Left Forces, State, just State, Progressive Socialist Party of Ukraine, Socialist Party of Ukraine, Socialist Party, and Vladimir Salado Bloc. I pretty much botched that last one up. Those are the 11 political parties in Ukraine. That is a lot. And the crazy shit is, guys, these are considered left-wing parties, and they can't even get along. If you have a party called Left Opposition and Union of Left Forces Party, or Progressive Socialist Party of Ukraine and Socialist Party of Ukraine. So one's more progressive than the other, splitting hairs. Again, Russia and the neo-Nazi bullshit excuses bullshit, and silencing 11 political parties in your country is absolute bullshit as well, because we're seeing some of that here. David says the buffer zone wasn't bullshit at the end of World War II. That was World War II. Live in the now. All right? Again, people are going to go back in history as if that shit matters. It doesn't, guys. If Zelensky wanted to join NATO, that was up to him. Period. If it's it's like me coming in your house and telling you you're going to do X, Y, and Z. You're going to tell me go fuck myself. Period. You don't come into somebody's house and tell them what to do what, right? You got a neighbor next door. He's blasting his music. You could go on there and knock on the door and be like, listen, can you turn it down? He'll turn around and go, fuck yourself. What are you going to do after that? You're going to kick the door in and fucking and create havoc? No. You're just going to fucking trying to find a better way on how to handle it. Going into the Ukraine, guys, Putin has lied about it, period. And I'm sorry that some of you suckers out there believe this bullshit. Because he sat there and said it was about neo-Nazism, and it wasn't. He was over there talking about genocide, and it wasn't. Then he sat there and he talked about NATO, and Ukraine joining NATO. It had nothing to do with that. It's fucking bullshit. And a lot of you people sit here and continue to believe the bullshit from a Russian scumbag president. Now, again, we have scumbags here. There's scumbags in Ukraine. There's scumbags in China. There's scumbags everywhere. For you people to sit there and absolutely believe this shit is fucking stupid. It's insane that you guys believe a fucking bag of shit, Putin, at everything he says. It's asinine, is what it is. And yet, the proof is in the pudding. His fucking excuse changed 1,000 times already. Now what? He is not fighting against New World Order, Gene. He's creating New World Order in his country. Look at the partnership he has done with China. Look at what China did 2 years ago. They wrote a doctrine about New World Order and having a place in it. All right? So again, guys, if you want to stay asleep, stay asleep. But don't sit here and act like fucking Putin's a good guy or Zelensky's a good guy. They're not. They are all our fucking enemies. And that's the bottom line to this, guys. Alpha Haas, yes, borders are buffer zones, but saying that you don't want someone to join NATO, again, that has nothing to do with Russia. Russia just wanted to make it about himself because Russia wanted Ukraine. He's wanted it for a long time. He has mentioned it in the past. Again, you guys are doing recent research, right? That's that shit people do when they're like, they find out something new and they're like, oh man, I didn't know this was going down. And they start doing research and you get like a paragraph read and you're like, oh, I know everything about the Ukraine. No, you have to been following this for years to know why this is happening now. And there's a lot more happening. There's a lot more behind this than what I'm explaining. But he has mentioned this before, guys. And everybody just wants to fucking sit there and believe Putin. It's asinine. It's stupid. Putin's like a habitual liar. Again, ex-KGB. That's all they do. It's like a CIA agent being president and running this country. He's going to lie out the ass, man. Alpha Horse, I will look that up. Yes, Zebby D, Pouncy, if I'm saying that wrong, excuse me. Yes, this is all bullshit's intended to put everybody into servitude. Everyone, guys, around the world. Right? So if you guys aren't paying attention, I don't know what to tell you. But again, you guys who are sitting there talking about, well, the U.S. has skeletons in its closet. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? It doesn't fucking matter, because in the end, guys, they are all on board with putting us into a digital slavery, if you will. And yes, Alpha Horse, the reason for wars is plain and simple, resources. You're right. That's another reason for it, right? But I think Russia has a different plan for the Ukraine. Yes, vision preparedness. That's another one. He wants to get it. He wants to get Russia. He wants to get the gang back together again, if that makes sense, right? And yeah, NATO needs to be disbanded or reconfigured or some shit. I don't know, but there was a reason why NATO was put together, and I forgot what it was. And I just read it recently, and I was like, that's the reason why they were put together. I'm like, well, maybe countries should handle this shit on their own, but whatever. Savage Lee, Bush, again, calling Bush a war criminal, then you better drag every other world leader into that war criminal shit. Because when I was younger, I used to think Bush was a war criminal too. And he might be. He might be. But you better bring every other every other politician or, sorry, world leader into that and put them before world court. Right? Again, guys, it's when people talk about the United States and all the criminal shit we did, you sound like a communist because other world leaders have done the same shit. We can't look at our leaders and sit there and go, well, he's a bad guy, he's a bad guy, he's a bad guy, and not drag everybody into it. If we put them all on the world stage, guys, yes, then we can do something about it. But until then, there's not much we can do about it. Pointing fingers is not doing anything. Calling Trump, sorry, not Trump, Obama a war criminal for some of the bombings he did, doesn't matter. I'm not a big fan of Obama, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what they do, guys, because they're going to continue to get away with it. Pointing fingers does dick. That's all. It doesn't do shit. We've seen it. We've seen it 1,000 times over and over again. Yes, Alpha Hoss. That's a lot of people know about Raytheon and Bush. Again, doesn't matter. If we can say all of this, is it going to change anything? No. It's not going to change anything. I wish it would, but. And thank you, Prepping Outside the Box. He says the entire world has been built on war crimes. Literally how borders were made. Thank you for bringing that up. Right? And that's it, guys. That's how the world was fucking created. That's how war works. War is not nice. War is not, hey guys, put your weapons down. And the guys go, okay, all right, we're going to put your hands behind your back and we're going to put you into this camp over here. And we're going to give you 3 meals. Make sure they're hot. If they're not hot, we want you to complain to us. No, war doesn't fucking work that way, guys. War is the big boy game, if you will. Because it is a game to the politicians anyway, but not to the guys that are involved. And shit happens in war. And to sit there and call people war criminals and all this other bullshit, again, it's war. It's messy, man. There's no way around it. I wish we could bring these fucking people to war crime court, if there's such a thing, and fucking throw the book at them, but we can't because nobody ever gets fucking charged with this shit. Nobody. Unless you're fucking Saddam Hussein, and then that's a different story. Do you think China will soon make a move on Taiwan? Anthony Garcia. China's definitely going to make a move on Taiwan. I just don't know when. I would have thought it would have been a couple weeks ago, but I was wrong. Where do I stand on it? China needs to stay out of fucking Taiwan. It's simple as that. China has been testing the waters with a lot of countries. Yes, vision preparedness. War is no holds barred. Don't forget. Crazy Backyard Chicken Man. Exactly. And Gaddafi was another one that they fucking all of a sudden found on war crimes and started this riot to seek him out and get him killed in the streets, right? But whoever's in charge with that, again, yes, we can definitely talk about it as a channel, but to get mad over it, I don't get mad over any of this shit, guys. I don't get mad over the fact that certain presidents have let certain things happen and millions of lives, not millions, but tens of thousands of people died. I don't get mad at presidents who fucking slaughtered an entire group of people because that's how they wanted it, or because they felt indifferent about it. You can't get mad about that shit because we can't change that. That's something we cannot change. So again, guys, good. We could talk about it to a blue in the face, but I don't know. It's not going to. You're infringing on my rights. Yeah. But now Gaddafi had hair plugs. Nice one, Highland Husky. Gaddafi had hair plugs. Okay, he had what you call it? He had hair plugs, and Gaddafi. It's funny about Gaddafi. I watched the whole history on him. The guy was fucking smart. He was almost a genius. It was insane, but his ego got to the best of him. I guess if that makes sense. Yeah, vision preparedness says nope, no need to get mad. Keep prepping. That's it. That's all we can do, guys. Until something happens that will put the power back in our hands, the people's hands, whether that's the Americans, the Chinese, the UK, the French people, when it puts the power back in our hands, or we have politicians that legitimately fight for us, then we can make a difference. Until then, you know, it don't matter, man. It really doesn't matter. I can't get mad at fucking, all the war crime shit that people say these guys do. All right, now what? You said that this guy was a war criminal. Next, what are you going to do? We're going to storm the fucking White House? No. We're going to find out where they live and go to their place of their... No. So, again, it's just, it doesn't make sense. Siding with politicians do not make sense at this point in time. There was a time where we did, and we can trust the politicians, but we can't now. We can't trust any of them. Listen, I really don't know, who to trust anymore as far as politicians go. Because the problem with politicians, guys, they get this power. They get this sense of entitlement. They get all these freebies, these nice suits, these fucking $1 million deals. And then they forget about the people they were trying to represent. So what do we do? I like that. Prepping outside the box says, it's only a war crime if you get caught. Whoever thinks war is a clean fight is a Goomba. Nice one. Goomba. Holy shit. I don't even know what a Goomba is, but that's funny. I'm not mad, and I don't take your time. Very good, Southern Bell teacher. Yes, and the name calling wasn't for you. It's just in general for those people who, still sucking Putin's dick. I'm like, really? He's a politician, guys. That's what it comes down to. Looking at these politicians for hope. How the fuck can we look at politicians for hope anymore? Look what the fuck what they've done to this country. Politicians have done this. Goomba, mushroom looking. Our boy Hemingway says a Goomba. The mushroom-looking bad guy in Mario Brothers. Okay. Goomba's an Italian buddy. That's what I thought it was, but yeah, it's a Goomba. Winners are heroes, losers are criminals. All right, fair enough. If you trust, yes, thank you, Michael Maxwell. Michael Maxwell says, if you trust Biden, do yourself a favor, kick your own ass. Yeah, it's fucking insane. Vision preparedness. My canning. The last time I done canning was a couple weeks ago. I'm about to get back into it next week. My schedule's full this week, but next week I'm gonna can more. I'm gonna can chicken for the first time. So I did beef. Now I gotta do chicken. I'm looking to get more beef and can that as well, since it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. Though I still, when the canner starts rattling, I'm still staring at it like, what the fuck? Jackie H says, what about the water supply? What about the water supply? I know that the water supply is fucked, and we're going to be losing a lot of it. Super Chat says, you're a Goomba. Not sure what that means either. Yeah, you and I both. He is a robot. Okay. Sorry, I'm a little behind on the comments. Winners write histories. War says winner writes histories. Yeah, I guess. But then the truth also comes out years later, right? I mean, like we found out a lot about the bombing of Pearl Harbor, right? Found out that they knew that it was happening, but they didn't think that it was plausible. Then you hear the one story they knew they were coming, but we did nothing about it. They knew that the White House or the Washington D.C. knew about it, but they weren't sure, so they were slow on the intel. And then when it happened, it was too late. So yeah, it's all bullshit, guys. I mean, all we can do is fucking keep preparing and keep an eye on what's going on and try to play war games with the shit, you know? Alpha Horse said, okay, Alpha Horse is telling me to hit a local farm. Most of the food is probably cheaper there. That's a good idea, actually. And I know somebody else said that in the last live stream with Northern Girl Hobbies. They said I should hit up a local farmer. So I definitely will do that this weekend when I head up to Hudson Valley area. I absolutely will be hitting up a farm up there. So, for those of you guys that are watching, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down. If I pissed you off, hit the thumbs down. If I haven't pissed you off yet, hit the thumbs up for now. Listen, guys, my annoyance is at an all-time high with everything going on. But when people start backing up politicians, especially like Putin, it's fucking Putin is no different than Biden or Obama, right? There's no difference in these politicians, guys. They're all the same. They're all in it for the almighty dollar or ego. That's what they're in it for. They're not in it for anything else. They're not in it for the people. They like to say they are. They like to go, well, I'm here for the people of, and then whatever fucking mumbo jumbo comes out of their mouth. But that's not what it is. David said, thumbs down don't matter anymore. No, it doesn't. I even gave myself a thumbs down again because that's how much I fucking, don't care. Just hit something. I don't care what it is. Putin ain't, but Putin ain't here destroying America. Bobo, Putin's not here destroying America, but he's destroying his own fucking country. Believe that bullshit. Again, he's not uplifting his country. He's definitely not. He's jailing his fucking competitors. Anybody that talks bad against Putin ends up in jail. His political rivals. It's the same thing, right? I mean, they're probably better at it because they've been doing it forever. But it's the same thing, guys, right? I mean, with us, you end up in Facebook jail if you fucking talk out against Biden or whatever. But over there, you land in jail, right? So, again, where would you rather live? Somewhere where they put you in Facebook jail or somewhere where they put you in fucking jail? The gulag. Thank you, Rapture Ready. Crazy Backyard Purpose. The politicians aren't in it because they are blackmailed by somebody that has more money, more power. That's probably right. True. Because I think, to be fair, I think a lot of sorry, gonna move this up a little bit. I think a lot of politicians okay, sorry. I think a lot of politicians do get fucking blackmailed because they're caught up. They're caught up with some shit. Right? That's why a lot of them, a lot of fucking like, oh, we're gonna vote on this, but such and such, we're waiting to hear what such and such has to say, and then such and such votes in favor or against it because they got some shit on them. They got shit on all of them. They're all fucking touching little boys or some shit, or fucking diddling in hookers' assholes. Who the fuck knows? Snorting cocaine out of a fucking male prostitute. I don't know. And they get themselves caught on camera doing this shit, and then they're like, well, we want you to say X, Y, and Z, right? Showing your hand. Yeah, Facebook. Who's still on Meta? Facebook. Yeah, I'm still on Facebook for now, but I'm really on it. As the armed cowards, as the armed cowards, I guess. But Russia's not fighting back. The Russian people are never fighting back, and when they do protest, where do they all end up? Jail. This is the only country where you can protest, burn stores down, and get a get out of free jail card for fucking for playing along with the protesting game here in this country. This is the only country that I know where you can burn a store down and not go to jail for it, right? Or they give you the reason of being the voice of the unheard. Go to Russia and try to fucking protest. Protest anything over there and watch what happens. They put your balls in a fucking vice, man. Mash. Yeah, so anyway, guys. Yes, Corey Lynn. That was the January 6th protesters. That was one group of protesters. You're comparing January 6th protesters to what Putin has been doing, not even Putin, but Russia has been doing for decades. Anybody who protests against them ends up in jail. Period. We don't have that here. January 6th, on the other hand, a lot of those guys, unfortunately, were breaking glass and fucking punching cops in the face, right? and the rest of the guys were inside where they weren't supposed to be. Now, a lot of those guys that were inside, I disagree with. They shouldn't be. First of all, I don't think any of them should be in jail. But those who were legitimately attacking the cops or breaking shit, they should suffer some consequences. But I don't think they should be in jail for fucking months. Not for breaking glass, and not for and I hate to say this, but not for a simple assault, right? But if they were, I don't know, if they burned the fucking Capitol to the ground, then listen, whatever. Now, one side of me thinks that these people were the Capitol happened for a reason, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get demonetized after this, but whatever. Corey Lynn, they were breaking stuff because I was there. I watched it. So again, if you were home in the safety of your home, you really can't talk about this. But I was there, and yes, people were pissed off at the elections. I get it, but that wasn't for us to show our hand, and we showed our hand off of something like that. Now, what does the government do? They're ready for it. Anytime a protest goes down, they're watching every last one of us. American Freedom 911. Again, Capitol pigs didn't fire on anybody outside. Oh, they did. I mean, if you're talking about the gas canisters, then yes, they fired those at us, but they weren't firing bullets. And there were a lot. And again, Capitol the police had their job to do, and we were trying to do something, but we fucking showed our hand. And I think that wasn't the cause to show our hand. It really wasn't. That's why I was annoyed with the whole January 6th thing, because that wasn't for us to show our. We showed our ass that day. That if America's going to fight back, we got to fight back on something a little more concrete, and that wasn't it. Where we are headed with the Second Amendment, that's something we should be fucking going after. Where they tell us we're going to be on lockdown again, that's where we should be fucking going after. Not something that, again, was hard to fucking prove. It really was, guys. You know, and we all know what the election was. But again, we needed that concrete proof. We needed something to be like, and then, maybe then you go in for the fight. But what's coming is what we need to be fighting. The Second Amendment being taken away, the freedoms, the other lockdowns that are coming, that's what we need to be fucking fighting for. Not some shit that could have been, might have been, but we know was. But again, we needed, the concrete proof, guys, is going to be them trying to take the firearms away. That's the concrete proof. Locking us down or trying to come up with some new bullshit to lock us down, that's proof. That's concrete. The elections, even though I wholeheartedly believe it was taken, we definitely needed to hold ourselves together and not fucking do what we did January 6th for that shit. It really wasn't for us to do. You know, and again, it's if I'm trying to make sense, and it's bad, but I'm trying to make sense out of it, you know, because it again, like, one side of me was like good for the, you know, like the January 16th guys. Here's my other opposition, my other opinion with it. Sorry, is that it wasn't that bad. All right, and I say that because yes, all right, a couple people got punched in the face, some glass was broken, big deal, but people terrorized entire cities, and nobody was really held accountable for it. But January 6th, the world looked bad. Dario, don't be such a twat. If you believe that Russia has actual nuclear shelters for an entire population, listen, shame on you, because I don't buy that shit one fucking bit. I really don't. That's probably more propaganda from the Russian president, right? And yes, they showed you, oh, it's their train stations. Really? We have train stations here in New York. It doesn't work that way. Who's on Facebook? 2020 didn't teach us nothing. Oh, and by the way, No, Jeanette, I saw what was going on, but I didn't see the shooting, and I didn't see, I saw some of the stuff that was broken. I did. But I didn't see cops getting punched in the face. That's what I saw on video. I didn't see anybody get shot that was inside of the building. I did see the fucking National Guard, not the National Guards, the SWAT team roll up. I saw them, right? And everyone, no. And Jeanette, again, okay. I know what you're saying now. Do me a favor and pay close attention to what I've said in the past. You can go back in my older videos. Where I was, it was civil. What was going on the other side, I did not see. I saw that when I got home. But where I was and when I was live streaming, it was very civil by me. Yes, there was some shit that was broken. Cops were tussling some people around. They were shooting gas, tear gas, which I think was a highlight of my what you call it being there. But yeah, there was shit going on, guys. We're not going to make pretend it wasn't going on. It was going on. But it wasn't as bad as they made it look, is what I'm saying, right? Yes, cops are getting their asses handed to them on the other side. Again, there's enough video to show that, guys. We're not going to look at these videos and go, that was staged. That's stupid. And you sound stupid if you think so. None of that shit was staged. It was poor planning or poor reaction, if you will. Joe FW, I got as close to touch the Capitol building. When I got to the Capitol building, that was it. I was like, what next? And they were like, oh, we're going to storm the Capitol. So I thought the guy was joking when he said that, but I found out later he wasn't joking, right? They were dead ass serious. They were trying to storm the Capitol, but I wasn't on that side. Okay, so Corey Lynn, yes, those people who were let in, those guards, those Capitol Police, they were fired. That's not staged. So I don't know. Again, you weren't there, and it's awesome when people who weren't there always talk shit about, oh, it was staged, it was this. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? From the safety of your home, you're gonna fucking sit there and try to break balls and tell people what was staged and it wasn't? You're sitting at home. You weren't fucking there taking tear gas in the face and watching people get beat up by the fucking cops. All right, guys, that's what it comes down to. FBI antagonist, rapture ready, maybe. What you call it? Antifa, they were there, that's for sure. And I saw that with my own two eyes. But we're not going to sit here and act like this shit wasn't going on. All right. Those two cops that let those guys in, they were fired right after that. They were fired immediately. So again, I don't know how staged it was. I don't know. Maybe they agree with what was going on, guys, and they were like, okay, we can get down with this shit, and they let them in. Maybe that was the case. It didn't make sense. Yes, A.M. Ryan, we saw the Capitol Police letting people into the building. We saw that. I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying that maybe those Capitol Police guys were supporting Trump, and maybe they're like, yeah, we can get down with this shit. Maybe that's what it was. Right? I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to get beat up, and they were like, fuck it, let's just open the gates for them and let these people in. This isn't worth it. There is a lot of things that went along with this. But, to sit there and say it was staged, no, it wasn't staged, guys. It was poor planning. That's what it was. It came down to people's emotions and feelings, poor planning, and people got caught up in the shit. And again, if you people think Putin loves his people, you are sorely mistaken. And I see a couple of people like, Putin loves his people. You are fucking out of your mind. I'm telling you right now, you're out of your mind. And you'll see that. I'm not going to say any more about it. You're going to see that in the near future, how much he loves his people. That's all I'm going to say. Yes, Blockcom, exactly. January 6th was a mess. The media went overboard with the charges. Absolutely. The Democrats and the politicians went way too far with those charges. Absolutely. That's without a doubt. Messy. Again, what has Putin done to his people? If you disagree with Putin, you end up in jail. Should I say it in another fucking language? Should I say it in stupidity? The language of stupidity? He doesn't like his people when they go against him. Is that clear for you? He doesn't like his fucking people. Period, guys. If you stand against Putin, you end up in jail. The Russian people, I stand with. I stand with the Russian people, absolutely. Yes. There's Russian people I absolutely stand with, just like any citizens of any country. I will stand with them, but the politicians, you can't fucking buy their bullshit. You guys are buying their bullshit. That's the problem. You know, it's whatever. You know, guys, I get it. You guys want to believe in this fucking hero. You want to believe he's your unicorn. He's our savior. Okay. Listen, guys, wipe the cum off your mouth and move to Russia. Bobo, I wish I can, but I might be able. I might learn it just to fucking say it next time. Putin loves Putin. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark Chesser, for saying that. Putin loves Putin. Absolutely. And yes, guys, and Angry Homesteader. It's all bullshit. Again, it's all bullshit. Messi, I just said what he's done to his people. I said, if you oppose Putin, you end up in jail. Are you stupid, or are you just fucking with me at this point? Or did you turn the volume off as when I said it? He doesn't like opposition. And when opposition, if anybody protested, if me and you went to Russia, no, wrong one. If you and I were Russian and we protested against Putin and we said how much we don't like Putin and what he's doing with the war, we end up in jail. And you end up in jail for a long period of time. Not for a couple weeks, not for a couple days, long periods of time. Why have so many people fled Russia to come here? All right? Yes, Putin likes yes men. Duckmen, yes, exactly. If you stand up against Putin, if you say anything different, you end up in the gulag or you get fired from your position if you are a politician. Because he gives you that much respect before he fucking kicks you out. Messi says, what is the difference? Dems don't like opposition. Yes, Dems don't like opposition, Messi, but when was the last time, outside of January 6th, has anybody like you or I ended up in jail for talking against Democrats? Right? I talk shit all the time. I haven't been fucking jailed yet. They fucking probably following me right now because of all the shit I talk about Putin and Eric Adams. And I'm not in jail yet. That's the fucking difference. One guy has a plan. And with that, I have to find something real quick. Bear with me real fast. Listen, guys, and again, for those of you that who disagree with me, I do appreciate it, because you guys give me something to banter at, and sometimes you guys give me shit to think about. So I do appreciate it. Don't think for a second I don't appreciate it, because I do. Even though some of you guys, annoy me, it's still worth it because you guys give me something to think about. There was somebody on here that was telling me about the Ukrainian neo-Nazis. So I had to do the research, and they were right. The neo-Nazis are there, but Russia has their own neo-Nazis as well. How many Russians have come to America? Where do you get these numbers? You look online, Beatrix Kiddo. Nice one, by the way. Beatrix Kiddo, you look online, you'll see how many Russians come to fucking the United States. How many fucking Americans move to Russia? That's the bigger question. So vulgar. Yes, Carol Cook, vulgar it is. This is a vulgar channel. This is an adult channel. This is called Adult Hour. And yeah, man, you come on this channel, and you already know, Carol Cook already knows, but you come on this channel, guys, this is Adult Hour. Shit's going to be said. And that's just what it is. Trying to, listen, I could speak proper, right? I could be like, and today, guys, we're going to talk about something very unkind, and use words like that, and be like, and you know that people who are being detained, I'm not a fucking drone or an asshole. And again, guys, this is the sacrificial channel. So I say what I want. And you guys say what you want. Sarah Peck says, I don't listen to my AP around my nephews. No, that's why this is Adult Hour. This is where adults come out to talk, guys. Do it Thursday. do it Thursday. At Rapture Ready, yeah, Thursday I'll be back on. Unless I change my mind. But right now, I'm headed for Thursday. Yeah, guys, fuck, shit, piss. Everybody should be saying that. Whether you like me or not, you should be getting up in the morning, fuck, shit, piss, and get your day started. That's how I get my day started. Fuck, shit, piss, right? But, yeah, guys, listen. It's... We, people, whether you're Russian, whether you're fucking Australian, New Zealand, Britain, whatever it is, we need to stop supporting these current politicians. They are doing nothing for us, guys. Absolutely nothing. Just some dude. You talk about Putin in Russia and you end up in jail if you talk bad about him. And that was coming from his opposition that was running against him a few years back. And, matter of fact, there was a bunch of people just fucking protesting in Russia a week or two ago against the war in Ukraine. They all ended up in jail. There was even kids protesting. And they fucking, they carted the kids. They didn't arrest them. They carted the kids to jail. Right? They're not to jail, to the precinct. To the Russian precinct, whatever that is. And they did that. So, again. Vision preparedness says, there it is. Oh, the fuck shit piss. Yeah. So anyway. Corey says, if you talk proper and polite, she'll get bored or he'll get bored. Yeah, well, I guess. Guys. Putin, Jews. Is Putin a Jew? I didn't know that. That much I didn't know. Just thought about all the nasty shit he's done in his career and in his years, guys. Again, he's a politician. That's what it comes down to. That's what I don't understand. Like, we don't like our politicians here, right? Our politicians are assholes. But you mean to tell me Russia, their politicians are better? Or the UK? Or China? No. No way, guys. It's not even close. Angry Homesteader will be on the Angry Prepper channel on the 28th. That's next week. And I thank you. I was meaning to say that when I got distracted like a goldfish. Got distracted like an idiot. Right, but she will be on the Angry Prepper channel at 9 p.m. I was about to say 900 hours. 2100 hours, 9 p.m. at night. That should be a very interesting interview as well. American Freedom 911. Yeah, Jews can. I don't think Jews can be Nazis. Not with the definition of Nazis, guys. It really that's like that's weird. That's like a black Nazi. There's no such thing. Jews can be Nazis. Zelensky is a Jew. Putin is not. Kelly61 said Zelensky's Jewish. Putin isn't. I didn't think Putin was, but whatever. Jews took over Russia, then they killed the Tsar. That's old school news. Great Babe, thank you for the donation. Libertarian running for New York governor. Larry Sharp. Larry Sharp sounds familiar. I want to say I spoke to him, but I could be wrong. But yeah, guys, listen. And American Freedom 911. Yes, Soros. He said it, guys. The bigger picture is in play. And if people are not paying attention what Russia and China are doing right now, and you still think that Russia's the good guy, there's something. You know what? I don't want to. Let me walk back home on you guys, stupid idiots and dummies and stupid heads. Let me take all of that back. You guys are not aware of what Russia's doing and China's doing. You need to look it up, right? And maybe that's to my fault. Maybe I'm assuming that. I'm assuming everybody on here knows what's going on, and that is my fault. China and Russia has something in cahoots. They have a plan. They're doing something, and it isn't good. Therefore, you need to pay close attention to what Russia and China is doing, what Russia is doing with Iran, what China is doing with India, and they're trying to make an agreement or an agreement with India. So it's again, guys, this is all bad. It's not good, and Putin is not going to be the savior you guys think he is, or the love for his people. You don't love your people and restrict what they say and what they do. You just don't. That's not love for people. They might be. They might be castrated. I don't know. But guys, it isn't good. That's all I'm going to say. O.J. Simpson, not a joke. Ukraine is a distraction. Jamie, you're right. Now, that's a distraction, right? Some people were saying the Oscar slap was a distraction. No, it wasn't. At best, it was a fucking incident that happened. Distraction is like the Ukraine war. Because now we got this Ukraine shit. We're all looking at it. And meanwhile, there's a fucking ton of other things going on. Now, It's a distraction to those who are easily distracted. But for those of us that can actually multitask, which is a lot of you guys on here, we can multitask. We can look at all this shit. We could be like, you know, be like, all right. Kelly 6-1. It doesn't matter who put Zelensky in power. The United States. And then what? Now what? Okay. So they put the Zelensky in power. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Am I behind? Holy shit, I am. All right, whatever. She put yes. All right, sorry. I'm too far behind. Whatever. Beatrix Kiddo, I guess you just jumped in on this, but I talked about Zelensky banning his opposition parties and how that was the same as Russia. So again, and I'm not saying Zelensky isn't bad. That's what I'm not saying. I'm just saying that for a lot of you pro-Russian idiots, you're sucking the dick of a fucking guy who's just been inherently bad his entire fucking career in the KGB and as president, right? And then Zelensky is bad as well, because once you start that state media bullshit, what are you? You're just like the dictator or authoritarian, like Putin. It's the same thing, man. Rapture ready. Don't say gay bill. That wasn't a distraction. That's them trying to tear America in half. That's not a distraction at all. Yeah, guys, listen. It's again. Jay Myers, why would you watch The View? Were you bored? Or do you want to commit suicide? I mean, because I don't know why anybody would watch The View. That show was horrible. Yeah, catch up. Yes, thank you, Captain Ready. They're both scumbags, guys. Again, they're politicians. Politicians. Scumbags. One is not without the other. Scumbags. You know, it's... Jesus. Kelly 6-1 says Hunter. Well, I mean that still is the American, and it would be Biden, not Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden sealed a deal, if you will. President Biden, or probably at the time Vice President, got him in. Not Vice President, sorry. He wasn't Vice President at the time that deal was signed, or sealed, if you will. But yeah, Biden did it, so still. So how about them flat earthers? Guys are already trying to get me started with this flat earth shit. You should watch the Duran. Beatrix Kiddo, I don't need to watch the Duran show, if that's a thing. I know enough about the Russian and Ukraine history. But guess what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't. It's something that fucking Russia has been after for a while now. And now that Putin's in office, he wants it back. That's the simplicity of it. I watched enough of these shows. There was somebody called a Red Something Show, and I'm looking at the guy, and I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, does it matter? Seriously. Knowing about the history of this is not going to make me change my mind on who and what Russia is. It isn't. And Ukraine history, listen, the fucking guy was put in office by the Americans, right? So, again, how's that going to change my daily life here? It isn't. Now, that being said, whether I disagree with Ukraine or not, it is still their country to do what they want to do with it. Simple. Again, I'm not going into your house. I'm not going into your house telling you what to do, right? If I went to your house and told you what to do, you'd tell me to go fuck myself. It's the same difference. People are like, you need to know the history. No, you don't need to know the fucking history. Again, what is the fucking history going to change what's going on now? It's not gonna. I'm not all of a sudden going to be like, and thank you, Jamie. It comes down to New World Order, guys. That's what this all comes down to. It doesn't come down to anything else. It doesn't come down to the history of Russia or the Ukraine and those other bullshit that people throw out there. It doesn't matter. The New World Order, whether that's China and Russia or us and whoever else is lined up with us, matters. Insurance rating. Right. And guys, with the January 6th thing, I know some of you guys are like, listen, Messi, I know history that matters. And yes, I've looked into the history of this. And again, it doesn't fucking matter. Again, so again, you want to know your history so that you don't repeat yourself. Clearly, Russian Ukraine history doesn't matter to either of those two countries. And so here they are. Angry, so I'm still waiting for Angry Pete name a politician man here in the U.S. Politician man? What do you mean? To name a good politician for us to follow? I mean, the only person I can say that I might vote for is DeSantis if he runs for president. That's the only person right now. DeSantis seems to be doing a good job because DeSantis seems to obviously be in it for the people as of now. I don't know what he's going to be like 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I don't know. What the broadcast on YouTube, the dive with Colonel McGregor. All right, Lone Crow. Why would I watch the dive? Need more substance to that. Amen. I just named a man. I just said fucking DeSantis. Do you want me to name somebody who's pretending to be a man, like a trans? I don't know what you're getting at. American Freedom 911. Sorry if I'm missing some of these guys. It's and Frank Figueroa, he said, look at the narrative. Yeah, the narrative, guys, is not what we think it is. That's what I'm getting at. That's pretty much what I'm getting at. The narrative is not what you think it is. The narrative is not what the Ukraine is telling us. The narrative is not what the United States is telling us. The shit surely is it the narrative that Putin's telling his people. There's a different narrative, and they're fucking not telling us because they want us distracted or simpletons distracted so that they can phase in what they are already phasing in. Right? They're phasing in some bullshit, guys, and they're phasing in a lifestyle for people that... I'm reading a book right now. It's about the World Economic Forum. Right? It's about the Great Reset. And everything right now that everybody is bantering about Russia being a good guy and him loving his people, and Americans being scumbags, and the fucking Chinese being outstanding politicians to their people, and all this other bullshit. It's the fucking narrative that we are not being told and paying attention to, because we are all paying attention to this Ukraine shit. We're all paying attention to the food shortage. Though the food shortage, if you follow it, it's leading back to the Great Reset. Again, guys, the Ukraine history, the Ukraine Russian history means dick to us because they got something else in store for us. That's why I don't give a fuck. Right? The World Economic Forum, the New World Order, whatever the fuck you want to call it, guys. That's what they're implementing under our nose, and yet we're staring at this shit on the other side of the world that really doesn't affect us. Corey Lynn says, Fox News put out famine coming. Thoughts? Corey Lynn, I did not watch that, so I don't know. Thank you, No Sheeple. Appreciate it. But it's still repeating. Messy. Yeah, okay. Granted, yes, history is repeating itself, and it'll always repeat itself. That's the problem. I think as humans, we just have that knack for wanting to repeat ourselves. All right, but anyway, guys, we're missing the bigger picture, and that picture is the shit that's going on. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. The way they're pushing a couple of other things that are going on right now, they are absolutely going to try to line us up for the Great Reset. See you later, Southern Bell teacher. Thank you for joining me tonight. Appreciate it. And again, guys, those of you who don't agree with me or don't even like me, but still actually have the balls to comment in the section or leave a comment section, thank you for joining me tonight. I do appreciate it. That is fucking for sure. It's always a good talk. So I do appreciate it. Thank you. But about the famine, guys, I do think there is a famine coming. I think that famine... All right. So to be fair, I didn't think that this famine was going to hit us directly, or I didn't think it was going to be as bad. just because, you know, we have a little more here than other countries. But it looks like it's going to hit us bad. It looks like it's going to get fucking exponentially bad. I don't know how fast. I don't know if it's going to hurt. I know that much, but I don't know how bad it's going to get. I would be a fucking liar if I said I knew how bad it was going to get. Nobody in Jersey seems worried. NJ Prepper. No, they probably don't. But I think that it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a fucking whole hell of a lot, guys. And we're just going to have to fucking we're just going to have to suck it up. Right? We're going to have to suck it up. We're going to have to fucking mow through it. That's all we can do. Because the power that be, they're going to be sitting pretty while the rest of us are suffering. And they want us to suffer, and they want us to suffer. That's all I can say. Yes, I've been watching Inside Russia. And yeah, even listening to Inside Russia, he doesn't sound like he wants to fucking be there. So, you know, at least anyway, from some of the videos I caught of him, he doesn't sound like he wants to be there. Pinch runner. Yes, I will agree with you on that. I will agree with you on that. He said it comes down to following both China and Russia wants America's land without Americans on it. So be prepared in every single way possible for every possibility. Exactly. Exactly. I'll agree to that. Now, guys, I didn't want to fucking be on here this long, but guess what? I wind up being on here this long. But guys, just keep in mind, the mark of the beast is coming. Again, look up microchip or implants or RFID implants. Just look that up. You don't have to take my word for it. Look it up. The Great Reset is right around the corner. And the New World Order, we don't know who's going to be leading that. Because apparently Russia has a couple of... they weren't happy with their corner in the whole matter, if you will. But yeah, just keep in mind, guys, that this shit is coming and it's real, and all the bullshit that's happening overseas doesn't fucking matter. It really doesn't. What matters is we need to get through the bullshit that's coming our way. Right, guys? So, other than that, thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for those of you that think differently from me. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys who support me and watch me through the years, if you will. And other than that, guys, I'm tired. I'm gonna go home. So I'll see you guys Thursday night, and we'll definitely see you Friday or Saturday night with Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival. Right, guys? Other than that, thank you.